Welcome back to News 360. It's now time for Mission, which is supported by Star Ghana and funded by Danida, the European Union and UK Aid. Now to our first story from the Upper West region. For residents of Kulun in the Wa East district of the Upper West region, water is a prized commodity. Now, Bright's Nana Alpha reports residents scoop unwholesome water from a stagnant pond for use. A borehole in the community constructed is yet to produce its first water.
The community contributes 100 million. So, and we drill a borehole. It was water, but we don't have money to buy the hairs and then the pipes.
Over 400 people live here. The excitement is only because they have visitors. The community is quiet when there are no visitors, and there is virtually no activity. This is due to inadequate social amenities. There is no health facility here. A 30-minute walk or a 10-minute ride on a bike will take residents to Yala for health care. For pregnant women of Kulun, drinking this water is a danger because the facility can't take care of them properly. In this difficulty, water is a challenge. Getting the commodity is a headache. This is the only source. They would never pray for the dry season to come because the season is a nightmare in the search for water.
This is what residents of Kulun here in the Upper West region rely on. This is the only source, and at this time of the year when it is dried up, there is indeed a huge problem for them. Women, children, and everyone in the community relies on this kind of water from this stagnant pool. It starts from right behind me and drips here, and it gathers. I'm told that it takes hours for it to gather to the level that it can be scooped into their receptacles or containers. Residents of Kulun are really distressed. Water is a prized commodity, a challenge they are battling to deal with.
They rely on this for household chores. I doubted at being told that this is indeed the water used for drinking. Then I got the shock of my life. Even children were given some to drink. They had made effort to dig a borehole, but had been unsuccessful. A last-minute effort, however, yielded some water, but resources had run out. To get pumps to bring out the water, some more funding was needed to finish the work.
We don't have money to buy the hairs and then the pipes. So the contractor told us that we should find 30 million. So we want to contact the DCE. And the DCE too, he said that he will come. We follow him up to date. So we went to the Funsi Assemblyman. We contacted him that he should send us to MP at Accra. MP said he have called the DCE and give him the go ahead. So he called the DCE and the DCE to say that he's going to Tamale. That after he returned, that he will come.
They therefore had to continue relying on this unwholesome water for use. Several appeals in the past for help did not yield any results.
Now, water is a very, very huge problem here. Now, right now, they have to walk about 1 kilometer before they can get to the source of water. And even when they get to the source of water, they are scrambling for the water of animals. So the animals also go there to look for the same water. the same source of water, and that's where the animals also drink from.
The district assembly is ready to step in. The promise is that Kulun's water challenge will be fixed.
They have initiated a borehole, and then they hit water and reported to assembly. So when it was reported to assembly that they themselves have initiated a borehole and they had water, I went to the community myself, went and saw the borehole. So I asked them to actually provide details of the one who drilled the borehole, so that I will contact him to find out about the yield of the borehole, so that the assembly will take it up and complete for them. So for now, we are ready to support them to complete the borehole for them. Once we have made several attempts and could not get water, and they themselves have now been able to drill and hit water, we are ready to take it up and complete it.
The only source they could rely on is dried up. The community lives close to the Kulun River. In October 2017, the river had water.
3 months ago in October, I stood at this very same place, the Kulun River. This is the shores of the Kulun River. There was indeed water. Vehicles had to struggle to get to the other side. Motorbikes had to do the same. 3 months on in February, it is totally dried up. The river has been cut into pieces. Communities that lie on the banks of the river rely on it for consumption, but now they have to struggle to even get a little that's left in the river.
With the river dried up and no rains expected till May, residents of Kulun would have to wait for the borehole to be fixed before they can access clean water for use. Brighton and Anfo, TV3.
Now, from that sore side, let's do some good news. And residents of Bonsaho have for several years expressed worry about the lack of potable water, access to healthcare, and poor roads in their area. But following the stories aired on TV3's Mission, David Vondi, a former MP aspirant in the area, has constructed and commissioned a borehole worth 15,000 Ghana cedis to solve the water situation. A report by Spencer Kwabena-Mensah.
Water has for more than a decade now been a scarce commodity at Bonsaho in the Atimokwa district of the Central Region. The only source of potable water constructed during the Rawlings regime broke down more than 10 years ago and has since not been attended to. Pupils walk several miles to get water before and after school, an activity they say affects the academic work.
I walk a mile before I fetch water to go to school.
How does it affect your schooling?
Because I didn't go to school on time because the water is far away from our houses. So this water contains a lot of germs, which causes some diseases to us, and it is not good for us.
Okay. But the good news is that a former MP aspirant and humanitarian, David Vondi, has responded to the story aired on Mission with an intervention that would alleviate the water challenges at Bonsaho. At a mini deba at Bonsaho, he indicated that as a native of the district, he shares in the challenges of the people. Commissioning the project, David Vondi was sure that the borehole would promote the standard of living of Bonsaho people.
Having seen your documentaries showing that there are problems of water here, I thought that it was on me to, assist and get water for them to drink, because water is life. I've suffered these kind of things before. Those days when we were here, and it was terrible.
He added that his NGO, David Vondi Institute, is poised to support the marginalized in the districts and beyond.
It is not only that you will become an MP that you can help your community, you can still help your community whether you're an MP or not. So I am not fighting for political, favor. I'm doing this because it must be done.
The secretary to the chief of Bonsaho was grateful for this intervention.
About 700 to 1,000 people who are the beneficiaries of this water have also been prevented from waterborne diseases like onco, which provides blindness. So we are very sincere and grateful to Mr. Bondi for his kind gesture.
We also thank the management of TV3 for exposing our problems to the whole world.
After marking time for over a decade now, their dream has finally become a reality. The issue of attracting diseases from unhygienic drinking water shall become a thing of the past. Now, pupils could quickly get water for their families and get to school every morning.
Meanwhile, when the mission team first visited the community in November 2017, some pupils at the Bonsaho school studied in a bad learning environment because of the collapse of their classroom block at the beginning of the academic year. But the assemblyman of the area assured the mission team during our second visit that a temporary structure would be raised in a month's time for the kids and claimed building materials were ready. A month on, there is no sign of the said construction, leaving academic work still unattractive. In a related development, the poor roads in the area continue to affect healthcare delivery and agriculture. 10 patients, including pregnant women, had already died as a result of lack of transportation to transfer them to a nearby town to get emergency health care. Also, bags of cocoa beans and food produce had been destroyed in the community owing to lack of transportation. On our third visit, the issue has still not gotten any better, and with the onset of the rains, the people fear the problem would worsen. Spencer Kobnaboati Mensa, TVC News, Chifu Bonsaho.
And that's all for Mission tonight. It is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, UK Aid and the European Union.